Choose you this day whom you will serve. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord.
I just got another RV, and it's a surprise with a big surprise. The adventure continues with acquiring another derelict RV camper for next to nothing to save from the junkyard. Then we get to journey through my mini RVs with a short update near the end. Enjoy!
Good morning, everybody. I've got something new for you. And for me. Well, remember how I was talking about wanting to trade and wheel and deal with the RV? Well, have I got a surprise for you. I have finally traded, I'm pretty sure anyway, I'm 95% or better sure that I traded my old storage RV, not for Joe's RV right there over my shoulder that I eventually want to try to get, but for now, this one. It's been sitting here for a few months. Joe's roommate, seemingly maybe extended family member who's been staying with him out of necessity, had got this picked up to try to get by with, but like my Project Workshop RV, has been quickly figured out that it's beyond most people's ability to repair, especially hers with their limited income, which is probably similar to mine, but again, without being able to do the labor and having the time and strength. But this is why I really like this thing. That slide out, it's a 14-foot slide out. I think the RV is about 28 feet from end of floor to end of floor. I'm not going bumper to bumper. I'm going actual floor space. Or was it 28? Yeah, I think so. 26 feet. I think that might be more accurate. 26 feet might be a little more accurate. And I think it's got about a 24-foot roof on it. And that's really what I was afraid of. I didn't even get up here to look at it before I traded it, but I figured maybe it might need a new roof, and well, I'm glad I didn't have to look too hard. That right there, that's my answer. That needs a new roof. That's not worth a whole lot. It's all rotted right here too, so, but that's okay because the new roof requires new plywood. So I already figured about $1,000 to do a 24-foot roof with one skylight. You know, it might be a little less since I don't need a super expensive air conditioner seal that looks like a normal 14 by 14 air conditioner seal, and I don't even have an air conditioner for it. But yeah, it looks like the TV antenna is actually in pretty good shape. Probably worth just fixing it up, keeping it. But yeah, so a simple roof at least. I don't know if I should just come up here and try to seal it up and get by for a little bit while I save up money, or if I should just try to dump all my resources into it at once. But here's a few things I do notice that I really do like that I don't have on my live-in RV. This gutter, I like that. Aside from the awning, which the awning legitimately looks like it goes all the way from end past the other door. So I can definitely get awning all the way across this thing. That is one fortunate thing, having the slide out on the back, is that I can do that. That right there will be the simplest of repairs at this point. You know, same with these corners and stuff, but this is why I got this thing. I got this thing because it seems to be everything that I can handle. This thing here, I haven't really worked on these yet, but it's gonna need some work, but it's, you know, at least get it stopped leaking. And you know, this can be the last thing I work on and learn. But it needs new seals around the edges for sure. That'll be something else I do probably this week. The moment that I'm confident this thing is for sure mine, I'll be coming in and get these. Now I've been online and there's a few different types and they get more expensive as they go on. But these are actually some really nice ones that go in like this, and these metal tracks just sit here. You know, now Is it a good idea to take these metal tracks off and redo them? Probably. Am I going to? I don't know. It depends on if they leak or not. But there's a track up there at the top. It doesn't have one of those things going over there. And I might actually spend a few $100s on one of those eventually and put one over the slide out just for keep it cooler in the summer and keep the top of the thing, just, you know, protect all the seals I'm about to put on it. So, you know, I don't see any parts for the awning, so, you know, I'd have to start from scratch or find some used parts laying around. It's missing 2 wheels. It's got the spare and 2 of those wheels, but 2 of those wheels are missing. The hub on the other side is also sitting up under here. So I'm gonna have some axle and wheel work to do if this thing were to ever have to go down the highway again. Fortunately, staying around the yard, it's not likely gonna have to go anywhere. And those stairs are gonna need some unbending and work, and just looking at the 2, I can see there's something missing along the bottom. So those stairs might need some actual real work on them, but I believe these ones work quite all right. Yeah, that actually works better. Well, I figured I'd give us all a treat, and I made me a tool to go up under here to work the slide out manually, and to my delight, it actually works quite well, and it's actually a pretty solid looking setup for a slide out to be working on, if you know the way it mounts and slides anyway. But yeah, it's actually looking pretty decent up under here. So yeah, slide out works. It's out as far as I can go. I still got a little bit more inside, but let's take a look and see how big it is inside. This is the first time I've been here with the slide out more than 6 inches or so. And well, and you can see it's got another 18 inches or so to go. I say this is a lot bigger than where I was at. Now let's see, this is 14 feet from here to there, about 72 or 74 inches, and then it's almost 4 feet, about 3 3/4 feet from there to there, and then obviously about 7.5 feet from there to there. But I like this little 4-foot section over here. It's got a little built-in end table. I'm assuming a couple of recliners go here. A couch used to go right there, and a bench seat and end table most likely went right there. Obviously the refrigerator, the microwave, and the hot water heater. The furnace is there, and I imagine the hot water heater goes, yeah, right there where that hole is on the outside. But look at this, this is feeling nice and big. These side windows here don't open, but there's a big screen there, smaller screen there, 2 on the bottom there with that big panoramic window, another opening right there with the screen. The doors, screens are actually pretty good shape and work. But this is actually convenient because I can take that window out and put a window unit air conditioner in and have it, you know, pushing all the way down here in the kitchen area, and then worry about the bedroom later. So here's the bedroom. This is the bed it comes with. I don't know that this was the original configuration because I see, you know, all kinds of stuff like, did it have a bunk bed in here or just more panels and closets and stuff up in here or something. But anyway, I noticed this is a big opening right here. Usually it's kind of a doorway for the bedroom, and I think what's going on following the things from the ceiling is it had a wall coming out to here and back in, and probably a closet here, an end table here, and then right up along here a doorway, which makes a lot of sense. So that'll close this off and make a little miniature hallway if I do that. Or if I really wanted to be crazy, I could just leave it open, but I think a closet will be a better thing. And then of course the bathroom. Again, for an RV, this is actually quite a decent sized bathroom stall. Nice big skylight, I like that. I'm gonna keep that going on. That's actually in pretty reasonable shape. I won't have to buy a new cover for that right away. The one thing I didn't quite figure out was this right here. I don't know why they didn't just continue on with that or put the toilet over in that corner, unless they put that there for like a clothes basket or something. I haven't figured out that. But you know, just your basic normal size RV tub, which is, I actually prefer having a tub than a shower stall, just because it's better if you need to fill it up or drain stuff in. And it just take up a little less space. So yeah, this is gonna be my hopefully my new live-in eventually, if I don't get Joe's RV quick enough. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, but that's all stuff I'll be working on. I'll get this thing pushed out all the way, and I might even take these off and, like I said, make me a little deck underneath it and some wheels so I can roll this out to fix this edge up and then roll it back in. We'll see. There's another window with a screen right there, another window with a screen right there. That's where the air conditioner is supposed to go, and it'll probably be a good idea for me to eventually replace it, because, you know, it's got a, oh no, that's a speak, no, that's a vent. Yeah, a vent. Come on down here. We got another vent, and then a vent in the bedroom. So, and has the bathroom got any ventilation at all? No. Might have to do something about that. I don't even see any hookups for heat up in here. No. And the furnaces, apparently I'm assuming a hole right there. I see another hole right here, and a hole right here, and a hole right here. So that's the 4 furnace outlets if I want to reuse them. But you know me, I'd rather go with the tubing, shoot one out there, shoot one out here, shoot one out kind of in the bathroom, and shoot one out in the bedroom, and be done with this floor deal. All right, oh, there's the other wheel and tire, so that's 3. And I guess I'll finish off. You know, this door here, somebody had to pry it open and break it. I don't think there's a key to either of these locks, so that'll be one of the first things I do is either buy some new cylinder or just replace the whole door locks themselves. But the screens work. Now the slide out tool works. I'll probably suck the slide out in for now. Heck, these don't even match, so yeah, I'll get a matching set. This door's actually in really solid shape, just needs a little patchwork on the fiberglass, I guess. But anyway, yeah, so the bedroom's got a little tiny window over here. Yeah, it's got a screen on the other side. And the only kind of saving grace with the bedroom for ventilation is this bigger window over here that completely opens up, like with, you know, with this thing sitting out here. I kind of like that. Some decent storage with decent access underneath there. There's that other wheel hub that's missing right there. There's some awning parts actually. I think I got the centerpiece sitting in the yard, so I might actually have enough pieces to fix up an awning. The only modification I kind of think I may end up wanting to do in the long run is putting a RV window here. But I don't know. Anyway, pretty neat. Oh, would you look at that? I got it all the way in. But look at the way it's sitting up at the top. And the other side isn't really going in all the way. And look at that. That's why that bottom needs to be secured down there. And it doesn't help that you can see right up there. I mean, watch what happens when I try to straighten this thing out. The whole thing just kind of wobbles. So yeah, I think the first thing I need to do is get this thing solid And probably just do it inside of here, but I'm gonna have to let it back out to at least level it out and get that tension off that corner so it don't just go pop one day. Bummer. Oh well, now we see why I got this thing for so relatively inexpensive. Well, it's perfect timing. I get out here with the camera and a microphone to record and somebody starts up a big diesel truck, but we'll try to do something with it anyway. So what we're gonna worry about is this camper. I was gonna trade my storage RV for this thing, but the new owners of the property would like it to use for someone they know instead, and it's really going to be out of range for the lady who owns this to do anything with, and she was expecting to be able to just kind of leave it right where it is and move in, and when she found out that wasn't going to happen, she kind of gave up on that. And I offered her some cash for this, which was my second strategy, and really my preferred strategy after the new property owners told me that they were interested in my storage RV. And I said, oh, well, how about that? She actually said, well, good. I was hoping you'd ask me or offer me some cash for it. I said, how much you want? She thought about it for a little bit. She said, $200. I said, wow, $200. Wow. Yes, perfect. That's exactly, I was willing to pay up to $300, but the $200 is a sweet spot for me. So now I got $125 of it paid off. Just made another $40 this morning, another $35 cash, and I own it completely. I mean, I own it, but I mean, it's completely paid off. So now we got to get up in here and get this thing straightened out. Ida, what on earth is your problem? All right, the adventure never ends. Well, I think I figured out why the slide out wasn't rolling all the way up in. I kept having this mental image in my mind that there was this piece of foam or something somebody shoved up there to try to make a seal, but it just, the way this thing stopped felt way too solid and way too short for that foam to be a problem. And so I come up here today with the saw and got some of these branches trimmed out so I can get up in here and look, and guess what I find? The answer. Look at that. I bet that's it right there. I bet that's what's stopping this slide out from going all the way in. Now, did I cause that floor to separate? Probably not. It was probably like that before from somebody doing the same thing I did, not thinking about doing this up here. And I guess there isn't a piece of foam like I thought there was, unless maybe I pulled that out already. But anyway, let me get the blower, get this cleaned up, and see if this goes in. The positive of that side effect of that floor falling out like that is, I know it's a weak point that needs to be repaired instead of something I'll just, we glaze over. And the last thing, where is it? I started peeling some of this back. Oh, here it is. Okay, now I started peeling some of this back, and sure, the roof is soft, but the rubber material, other than that perforation over there that I can put some sealant on, is still a solid piece that goes from corner to corner. And I think if I just came up in here and peeled all this stuff out and just die-cord, lap sealant the thunder out of this stuff, I might be able to get me a couple of months or a year out of it, maybe. Is it worth, what, 3 or 4 bottles of die-core? Probably. All right, anyway, let's get down there and see if the slide out works. And as a side note, I've got to give this roof credit. It feels actually quite solid all the way across here, except again some of the little soft spots, but those don't even go up against ceiling joists. Those go up against just go up against the plywood. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. I could probably get away with just sealing this for now. Okay, I had a little problem with this pin falling out, and this end up in here just kind of wallowing out. So I just drilled me a new hole and put me a big thick screw in there. And this is what I was talking about when I said I made me a tool for the slide out. Best I could come up with what I had laying around. Anyway, let's get this thing finished. All right, that worked. Maybe not the best in the world, but it sure did the trick. And wouldn't you know it, success. On this side at least. I notice up here at the front, it's still sticking out a few inches. Yeah, about 2 inches. And I can only assume that adjustment right there, see that gap right there? If I loosen that up, I might be able to slide that, and maybe the opposite, loosen the other one up to slide it out a little bit if I need to. I bet that's how you straighten that out. And I see a couple of bolts over here on both sides, and I see some slots where you can slide it side to side too. Pretty smart. And for what it's worth, these water tanks underneath this thing look like they're in really good shape. Really good shape, honestly. That's a big plus. I don't have to mess with none of that. Flush that freshwater tank, and I imagine a toilet looks like it's got some overflow and everything. But yeah, so we got that straightened out now. And I just level that thing outside to side, front to back, and that'll fix that for now. And here it is. Yeah, see that corner looking a lot better now. And you know what's too bad, really? Well, that corner's rotted out a little too. If that corner wasn't rotted out, man, I might be able to just reuse this. I still might be able to, but this is a single piece, and I think what I'm gonna do is get 2 sheets, 4 sheets of 1/4 inch, and put one here, one there, and 2 there, and kind of set up like bricks or something. I don't know. Anyway, even with the slide out all the way in, it's still got just enough room to walk through. And all right, now I think we can call this done. Here we go. This looks. And oh yeah, it's a tight squeeze. Knocking off my microphone. And look at that, you still kind of get into the bathroom. But so now make sure that door's locked. Come out the front door, and as soon as those locks come in this weekend, I'll be able to lock this other door. And I actually even have some of these, couple of these key things I can set up in here, even keep people out that way. Woohoo! All right, let's clean these pile up and call that a day. Well, I hope everybody had a good time on this adventure and made it all the way to the end with me. At least this part of the adventure anyway. So, I'll tell you what. I have been sitting here staring at this camper, and I am falling more and more in love with I'm assuming Pumas painted up on it, and the little wild maroon and dark blue stripes, and a little bit of two-tone grayish gold to white. I'm really falling in love with the design on this thing, and I think I'm going to clean it up, and if I do some touch up and paint on it, I'm going to do my best to keep this design. going. Like, for example, on the door where it's all crisp and faded, I might sand that off and actually find some matching color paint, tape it off, and paint that stripe. You know, I might just do that. I'm, like I said, falling in love with the way this thing looks, and that means a lot. Alright, so here's the storage RV that I was talking about. This female wanting to trade me. And, you know, she started asking about hooking up power and air conditioning and all this. And I was just like, you know, that's, you know, I'm not really set up to help you out with that kind of stuff with that thing, you know. And then she thought, well, I thought I was going to be able to stay here. I said, well, there's new property owners, you know. I'm sorry people haven't been telling you what you need to know, you know, and just telling me that you keep changing your mind even though you never changed your mind at all, you know. So I'm glad I got a chance to talk to you about this and be able to straighten everything out. That's, you know, that's how I was able to get up to 200 and keep this available. Anyway, as you can see, my living RV has finally been moved up the hill. Hooray! I'm so happy to have it leveled off a lot better, and all the doors and everything just work so much better. You know, open and close without stress and strain. Anyway, so the project will be get these leaves out today and some more of that stuff from back there up the hill for the new owners to have me. So, I don't remember if I was talking about... Okay, so I can't remember if I had mentioned in a previous video or not, and maybe even made a miniature video or some clips for a video out of my neighbor Joe before he moved out a few days ago. He's coming to get this eventually. He's still working off the title on this, but he wanted to trade me this for that RV, that RV, both those RVs for this one. You know, kind of as is, but I imagine he'd want me to fix up a few more things on it to make it a little better deal, you know. And it almost happened, and it still might happen. I still might end up with this in the long run, but you know, I think after looking at this and the problems, after he cleaned out the living room and I got a really good look at the living room, and the trouble he was having with the slide out yesterday, and I was trying to help him with the slide out, and even these jacks now, these don't work all of a sudden, you know. I mean, there's no framing. Oh, maybe there's not supposed to be any framing in there. Never mind, I'll shut up on that. Anyway, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. There's no framing left, and right there, that's all just gone. But you know, the slide out is in a lot worse shape than I thought, to the point where I think it's actually sunk down and it needs to be jacked up before it can even go in any further. You know, the only upside to this RV, two upsides of this RV versus the one I just bought, is this slide out is tall enough for me to walk in with some headroom, whereas the other one is a little too short for me to walk in without crouching. So it's, you know, it's not walking space, it's just living space. So it's not as usable. Plus, this is tall enough to have a ceiling fan in it too, with or without sliding in the way. That's pretty awesome. I don't know that the other one's gonna be that quite tall enough for that. Plus, this garage on the back, you know, with this right here, would be real nice for the washing machine and chest freezer and stuff like that. Especially if I ever get stuck down in just one RV. But it needs a new roof as well, and it's actually a lot longer. It's like 30 something feet versus 20 something feet, you know. So you can add, you know, 30% onto that $1,000. You know, you can add, yeah, about from $1,000 to closer to $1,400 to do the roof on this thing. And like I said, the slide out's just so much heavier, so much bigger, so many more problems with it. The fact that it doesn't even slide in and out right now. I found the little wind out slot on it yesterday to try to help him do that, and even that's been worn out. It needs to be re-drilled with a new pin in it. so a tool will fit up in there. You know, just, you know, maybe I'm biting the bullet with this. You know, it's got those on there, which is what I was talking about wanting for the awning on the other one. You know, 2 slide outs. It's a 5th wheel, you know, with big old heavy duty tires on it. So it's not near as easy to move around or through town. You know, just, I don't know. There's no air conditioner on this one here either, but it does have those big roof vent things. You know, it's got the ladder thing on the back. But, you know, like I said, maybe this is just the Lord's calling, saying that this is a little too much for me for now or forever. But that right there really does just fit my abilities and my price range right now. And what I, you know, and wanting to get a little wider. All right, so we'll finish off with the project RV. And we'll take a stroll through my new little location summarily. Oh, hi Jaybird, hi KK. I had to separate the 2 birds because they just causing each other dietary problems. Got the generator set back up, my little porta tank thing to the toilet working out while I figure out what to do about the framing up underneath. And got all my stuff moved out and set up under here to keep it out of the sun and partially out of the rain for now. I took this door down a couple days ago and redid it, and now look at that, amazing. However, these hinges wore out, so door sinks, I have to push back up, so I got new hinges on the way. This door I came in yesterday and tore all the, they had like extra framing and another sheet of fiberglass plastic paneling right here, and you know, all kinds of crazy. I just took it all out of the way, and got the door to at least close and put a padlock on it so that it can be locked, so all my stuff can get out of the storage trailer. That's important as I clean it out, get it ready for somebody else to take it over. And I'll finish with, I do have a deadbolt for that with a key. I got 2 of those RV latches coming in the mail right now. They should be here by the end of the week. And this door here, you know, it used to be an old RV door, so I could actually cut that out, put this back together, cut that out, put the RV latch back on there, and probably remake that as a valid door. Maybe that's what I'll do. Or you know what, I know this video is going on and on, but you know, this is just extra stuff. And look at that. I think, oh no, that's a front door. No, that's too big, never mind. But I might be able to use the framing pieces around it though to, you know, this is missing some pieces out of this door. So anyway, 2 latches coming in right now. I'll eventually have new latches for everything, but 2 of them keys, so one will go there, or the deadbolt will go there. At least one of the new latches will go on that other trailer too, so I can lock both of these trailers up and get in the main doors, you know, with keys. And then I'll have the extra deadbolt, hasp, and whatnot left over. A couple of non-keyed but locking latches, you know what I'm saying? So in the end, I'll have enough. Oh, and yeah, really I need 3 sets. That's about $160, $170 though, for all 6 of them. They're about $25, $27 a piece. But yeah, that one works with no key and the handle falls out. That one was new, but it was a cheap one, and it did, you know, in fact, the matching one's over there. But one day I couldn't open it up, had to drill it out. So I got some more, a little bit more expensive ones this time. But anyway, yeah, so 6 of them will get me squared up all proper, but 2 of them will get all 3 of these RVs at least locked up good with secure locks and everything. And again, that one there, I ain't so worried about, because it's nothing important in there anymore, and pretty soon there won't be anything in there of mine. All right, I think that's about it. What an adventure, eh? Oh, I had a cat break in that back window too this morning. They're getting out of control. All right, everybody. J and K, I think it's time to stop.
I hope you enjoyed that video at least as much as I enjoy life to make it so far. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you care to, and stay tuned, there's more to come. I'm still reframing my workshop RV with a new idea for window installation and about to really get some doors done up. I've also got used gray and black water tanks to install from scratch on my live-in RV, plus Danny is hiring me to do his RV roof for a decent price as well as whatever else shows up. J and K, do you have anything else to say today? Bye.